Hey folks, the other day I did a video hating on this tape measure here versus the Stanley Fat Max, and just want to make clear to the fellow Milwaukee fanboys out there that I'm not a hater, and just wanted to, amongst the trades, especially plumbers, electricians, Milwaukee Tools is pretty much the bee's knees. But just want to make it fair that I'm not a hater of the company. They do so many things so well that just they don't do this very well. And I mean, that Stanley Fat Max has been out there for so long that how can this company not have improved on, taking that Fat Max to the next level? But anyway, just want to show that I do believe in the tools. So we're going to go from recent to a long time ago to say I'm just not a hater. My very most recent purchases were of the 12 volt, the driver and the drill, a hammer drill. I only got it on one. Let's put it on ludicrous mode. Oh, gotta hit a couple more times. And you can feel the torque in this small little guy. This thing is magical. It's absolutely magical. Those are the 12 volt, and so I got the 18 volt too. I went with the Hacksaw in 18 volt because when you pull this out, you're generally angry at something, and you just want to get it out of the way to get ready for that inspection or something. For what I do is a construction super. I'm not. I mean, back in the day, I was when I was a kid, I was a cut man on a frame crew. And I was very, very proud to have done that. When I tried to become the guy running the nail gun, I just wasn't fast enough. So, little mea culpa there. But so other what drawer? Milwaukee I got. So this is the new stuff. This is all the 18 volt batteries, including the one that's on the Hacksaw. I got the reciprocating. I got the 18 volt impact drill driver, jigsaw. I do stick with Diablo blades though with everything. They just, yeah. I mean, where is it here? Where did I put it? I just got it from Home Depot, Lowe's. There's some Diablo spattle bits. Where's the daggone? Oh, I missed some other Milwaukee stuff. I'm sorry. Milwaukee pliers, Milwaukee channel locks. Well, you can't call it channel locks. Wire cutters, Milwaukee. And where's the other Milwaukee stuff that I got? Oh, I think it's down here. Now we're going old school corded now. This is made in the USA right angle corded drill. You want to talk about torque? It's got a handle, and by golly, you better attach it when you go in through tough lumber, the old Sawzall corded. We're going way back in time, but I do believe they make really good tools, and one of the ones that I just can't get over of the joy of owning is the old 6377. Now, those of you in YouTube land, you are right. The skill saw is the worm drive saw that built this country. I think that thing they got that down to 11.5 pounds now. This one's still up there at like 14. Okay. But I ran a saw like this when I was a kid. Or young man, I should say. And for those of you who are younger, we're all talking about brushless tools. Well, here's something that you may not have known, but this is a different dinosaur. This thing's got to be 25 to 30 years old. No, I did clean it up very recently. Slapped a Diablo blade in there. Of course, the worm drives go this way, so you flip the blade over 7 1/4. But here's something that maybe some of you young guys may not know about the classic worm drive, and I'm pretty sure that for the young folks out there, this is a complete dinosaur. In here, you lube it. Yes, you do oil changes on this thing. It takes 90 weight gear oil because it's a worm drive. So you have the motor spinning this way. It's got a gear, and to turn the blade, it engages another gear that's spun like a screw. And the sidewinder ones that pretty much everyone's, okay, here's an old sidewinder. Okay, it's a battery op, it's a cheap battery, but this is the sidewinder where the engine or the motor is directly there. These things get higher RPM. Well, if it was a quartered one, it would get higher RPM. You get lower RPM out of this guy because of the gear mechanism. So you're down to like 4,400 RPM, where modern sidewinders are like 6,000 RPM. But what this thing does, this thing draws, if you look at it, this thing's 15 amps. So if you got a 15 amp breaker in your house, you got to shut everything off that's on that breaker to run this saw. This thing is like a diesel. It's not that fast, but man, does it have the torque. And let's talk about the brushes, which for young folks, they may think they know what they are, but there's one here and there's one there. So let me just grab a screwdriver. Those brushes do wear down, but it takes a very long time. Where's my screwdrivers? Let's just take the brush out. These are replaceable. So literally this thing is serviceable for generations. The things that wear down in it are just completely replaceable. You don't throw these in the trash. You just swap out the guts. So here's where a brush is. And for the life of me, I've never known why they call it a brush, because it's not a brush, but that's what they call it. So I'm unscrewing it here, and look, there's a spring-loaded thing right there. You take the cap off, set her right there, son, and then here is what they call the brush. And I don't know the engineer who named it, because clearly he was not a marketing guy, but they call this the brush. So here's my middle finger. Basically, when you get down to 3/8 of an inch thickness from here, left to right on your radio dial, you just replace these. And then, so what you do, what happens is this metal over the years it slowly starts just going away. And then you replace it this way. You put it down in here. And I probably need 2 hands to do this. You almost always need 2 hands, because these little ears right here and on the other side have got to go into that track. So I'll probably not be able. Can I do it one-handed? I don't think I've ever tried it one-handed. So I'm trying to hold it down with my thumb, get the cap on there. Oh, I think I got the threads. So as far as this goes, this brush, again, to me, just like a piece of metal, is good to go. I replaced the brushes on this, must have been 15 years ago. You just screw it back in, and this thing is ready to eat lumber for years. But again, the downside is this thing's 14 pounds. So it's hard to justify getting these days with these lightweight battery ops. It's hard to justify getting the skill saw or this 6377 because they're so heavy. But when I was a cut man, we weren't cutting uphill. So the weight of this thing, which is a beast, it's pretty stout. I organized my cut table that everything was going downhill, and this thing would just run through. You want to talk about 2x12? This thing will just eat it. It'll just go, because the torque at the lower RPM with the 15 amp motor. Now, is this for your DIYer? Absolutely not. This is just, you're bringing Molotov cocktails to the baby shower. You're just overdoing the whole thing, shooting match. But if you're ripping through thick, long stuff, I just can't beat it. And 14 gauge wire. This thing pulls so much amps that, I mean, this is almost the thickness of a cable you would find in RVs to power the whole thing. It's a monster. It's dangerous. And you put a Diablo framing blade in there. Yep. Oh, forgot to say, back to Milwaukee. This is my new stuff, so I'm loyal. And the story behind these is, about 20 years ago, I went whole hog into the DeWalt 18-volt NiCad, that $500 kit. For you old guys, you remember that thing? And that thing ruled the world. And then the batteries started dying. I bought new batteries. They were so expensive, but it was like, back when that came out, that was the next thing. And then the drill, the brush drill just blew up. It didn't blow up, it's not true. But you get that whiff of that ozone and those sparks and that smoke, if you had those tools, you know. And then the Sawzall, that thing started smoking, whiff of ozone, so I just started getting rid of them. So I said to myself, I'm not spending that kind of money for these tools again. So, I don't know, 7-8 years ago, I went with the cheap $200 18-volt Ryobi kit. And those were all brushed. And so that's what brought me coming back to reinvest into Milwaukee. This is going to my grave. We're going to my kids, as well as the, as I showed you. No, where's it at? The right angle. These corded Milwaukees were all made in the United States, and they are monsters. There's a Bosch SDS. That thing is a beast. But anyway, just from the video where I was trash talking this tape measure, I'm serious. I don't think anything of their tape measures. But you want to talk about what I think is high quality, and I know DeWalt also makes super good stuff. Metabo, HPT, those are super good stuff. So this is just me getting back to, you know, from the young man now to the old one.